In this short video, I'll be demonstrating my Microsoft Excel workbook for tabulating Ancestry DNA data and for generating leads charts from that data. I first demonstrated this workbook on December the 2nd, 2023 to the San Diego Genealogical Society's DNA Special Interest Group, and several members of this group started using my workbook after that presentation. I'm very grateful to all those that used the program and told me about bugs and had suggestions for improvements. Since that time, I've updated the program and I'm recording this video on January 22nd, 2024 to demonstrate updates to the workbook to those who have seen the previous versions and to introduce it to people who haven't seen it before. The main features of this workbook are as follows. First of all, it tabulates Ancestry DNA match data. It can generate a leads chart from the Ancestry DNA match data, and it performs subtraction of shared matches from an Ancestry DNA match list. And I will demonstrate all of those functions shortly. This is a screenshot of the tabulation page from my workbook. What I've done is to hide the names of the people, and there's an extra bit of code in there that I'm using for this particular demonstration. But as you can see, it tabulates the data from Ancestry DNA match list into the first column being the match name, then centum organs, which side the person is on, the match estimate, common ancestor, tree size, and notes. Now anything which is blue and underlined is a hyperlink. On the Ancestry DNA match page, you'll notice there are quite a few hyperlinks, and this program captures those hyperlinks and includes them in the table. The other part of this is to get a leads chart, and this is something that is produced by the program. And this is just an example leads chart that the program does produce. And again, in my demonstration, I'll be showing you how to make a leads chart like this using my workbook. Now the old version of the program looked a bit like this, and you can see at the bottom here there are 4 tabs to the spreadsheet. One marked Ancestry, one sorted, one leads, and one matrix. But in the new version of the spreadsheet, I've actually eliminated 2 of those tabs. The Ancestry tab was basically a tab used for collecting intermediate tabulated data before being tabulated in the sorted sheet. To simplify the whole operation, I've decided now to hide that sheet. It still exists, but it's hidden, and the user doesn't have to interact with it anymore. The matrix tab was something which was experimental. It was a works in progress. It is still a works in progress, and I'm decided to hide the tab for now until I can get that functionality working. So basically the new spreadsheet has just the 2 tabs, sorted and leads, which are visible. Now the first step in using the workbook is to capture the data from the Ancestry web page. These are my wife's DNA matches. The names of individual matches are hidden for privacy reasons. And to collect all of that data on that web page on a PC, you hit the control button and press A, and that selects all of the information on that page, and then you press Control and C to copy all of that information to the clipboard. If you're using a Mac to do this, then it's Command A and Command C. Now the second step then is to put this information into the spreadsheet, and as I said, there are 2 tabs, the sorted tab and the leads tab, and you can see various buttons here. So on the sorted tab, all you would need to do to tabulate the data now is to press the tabulate tab, and that puts the information into that sheet. Correspondingly, for the leads tab, to put information into that tab, you simply press the paste button, and that puts information into the sheet. Now you'll see on both tabs there are quite a few extra buttons, and I'll be going through the purpose of these when I go through the demonstration. In generating the leads chart, you have to repeat this operation several times over, now using the shared matches of the individual. So on this particular slide, you can see my wife's shared matches with an unnamed individual. The name is hidden. And again, you would do Control A to select all information on this web page, and then Control C to capture the information, which you then paste into the worksheet. I will now go on to provide a demonstration using the actual worksheet. So to start the demonstration, I've come to my wife's DNA match list on Ancestry, and you can see the first 3 matches on the screen. I've blurred out the names of the matches again for privacy reasons. What I'll do is to do a Control A and Control C to copy the matches. So Control A, and you can see all of the information, or at least most of the information on the web page is highlighted. And although you can't see it, I'm now doing Control C to copy that data to the clipboard. I'll now move over to my workbook. So here I am in the workbook, and as you can see there are 2 tabs at the bottom. As I mentioned earlier, one is sorted, one is leads, and I'm currently on the sorted tab. At the top you have the buttons tabulate, which I described earlier as being the button to tabulate the data which is on clipboard. So I'll now click that button, and you can see it's telling me to wait until the operation is complete. Now this can take a few seconds or longer depending on how much data you have, but as you can see we've received the data now, and it's tabulated as I had demonstrated in my earlier slides. Now just to go through some of the other buttons on this page, copy sheet is to make a copy of this particular sheet. Remember that every time you tabulate, you replace the data which are in this sheet. So if you want to retain a copy of that data, then just simply press copy sheet. You get an input box there where you asked to put a name for the new sheet. I'll just put name and then press OK. And as you can see now, there's an extra tab at the bottom called name. If we go to that tab, you can see the data are copied over, but without the buttons in the sheet. And so you can use that sheet and save that sheet, and it won't be overwritten by the macro in this workbook. Now going back to the sorted sheet, clear sheet is exactly what it says. It's a way of getting rid of all of the information on the sheet. So if you just click clear sheet, you're asked, are you sure? Say yes, and all the data are removed, and it's a clean sheet ready for the next set of data. You don't have to clear the sheet before you tabulate, because the first thing that happens when you tabulate or press the tabulate button is that the sheet is cleared of data. Now, having gone through some of these features on the sorted sheet, I'll now go on to the leads sheet. And now I've moved on to the leads sheet, and you can see, as I said before, you can just press the paste button and data are pasted in from the clipboard. So I'll just do that. Again, please wait. Now, one thing to bear in mind, that when you press the paste button here, the sorted sheet is used as an intermediate sort, and so that will be populated as well. So if you do want to preserve anything in the sorted sheet before doing the leads chart, then obviously save that sheet as well. We now have our primary match list on the left-hand side. As in the leads method, you now want to populate the other columns, and you do that using shared matches. Now, the standard leads method says choose the highest centimorgan match between 90 and 400 centimorgans, and the highest we have is this one here in row 7. And so what I'll do now is to click that match, and what should happen then is you open up the Ancestry web page with the shared matches with that particular individual. And now on the shared match page, again, you press Control A to highlight all of the data on the page, and then Control C to copy it to clipboard. And then again, you move over to the leads chart and press paste. Now, things to notice on this chart. First of all, you can see that the first column has been populated. I'm not using colors at this stage. I'll introduce those later. And the primary match, the one that you, in the leads method, you mark with some X or some other mark, is actually here in inverted colors. So it's white text on a black background. And so it's clearly marked as the primary match in that list. The other feature of this sheet is that you're given a suggestion as to the next row to use. And again, it uses standard leads chart rules to select the next person. So it's suggesting you go to number 9, row number 9. And so again, I'll click that link. And now I have the second set of shared matches. And again, I will click Control A and Control C to copy those to the clipboard and move over to my workbook and press paste in the leads chart. And again, you've seen the second column populated. Now, there are not actually many matches in this column. You can scroll down and see there are more lower down, but near the top there are not too many. So now again suggesting row 12 is the next match, and so on. So you just simply repeat the process to populate as many columns as you want. So I'm going to stop recording now, fill out some more columns, and then come back to this video. And now I'm back to the leads chart, having filled in several more columns, as you can see on the screen. And I'm now going to describe some of the other features of this particular workbook. Well, first of all, you may notice that you have at the top row 2s and 3, you have 2 blank rows here where you can put in information about individual columns. So you can maybe have a title and a subtitle in these two rows for each column. The other thing you may want to do is to color the columns so that they look actually a bit more like a conventional leads chart. So for that, you select a column that you want to color, and you just put the select a cell anywhere in that column, press color, and a color selector comes up, and you can just choose a color. I've chosen blue there, selection in blue. For the next column then, I'll select the column, press color, and this time do a light green. Next column, select color, I'll do a reddish color. Probably better not to have it too dark with the black lettering. A yellow here, I think. And for the last column here, we'll do, I don't know, a purple. And so you can see that the individual columns have been colored as a conventional way. Now the squares do still have the names in them, so if you prefer not to have names inside those boxes, you can just click remove names and the names are removed. If you want them back again, you click remove names again and they do come back again. And so now I want to merge 2 columns together. There's a merge button here which I first select, enter the column letter which you want to merge from. So you're merging from F in this case, so F, and merging it to, and then click OK, and then select merging it to, and you want to merge it to E, and press OK. And as you can see, this has now moved across from F to E, and everything is compacted down to that you don't have any blank columns. One thing to note when you do merge columns is I've tried to make the 2 sets of matches a slightly different color, so there will be more than one color in here. And of the two primary matches, the one in the that you've merged from is a slightly lighter grey and has yellow text, whereas the one you've merged to has a black box and white text. And that is just so that you can differentiate the two primary matches in that merged column. If you don't like a mix of colors here, again, go back to recoloring the column by doing that, and the matches are then colored with the to the same color. If you want to move columns around, so say you wanted to swap F and G, you click the move column button, and you want to take G and swap it with F. Then you just click that, and you can see the two columns have been switched. So those are most of the functions on this particular page. We have a copy sheet again, which is very much like the function on as you did on the sorted tab, and you have a clear selection, which I will explain. So if you select an area, for example, you can select the whole column there. You can click clear selection. Are you sure? Yes. And everything in that column is deleted. But it doesn't have to be a complete column. You can have part of a column that you want to delete. I would say use that clear selection button with caution, because if you make too many changes to the sheet, then the macros may no longer work, because they do assume certain arrangements of data within the workbook. I'd now like to demonstrate the new feature in the workbook, which is the filter function. The purpose of the filter function is to take a DNA match list and subtract from it groups of shared matches so that you end up with a more focused match list. To make a start with the filter function, you have to collect a full set of matches, not shared matches, to put in column A of the sorted sheet. So I've now returned to my wife's DNA match list on Ancestry, and again I'll click Control A and Control C to copy the data to the clipboard, and then return to the sorted sheet and click Tabulate, and that puts that set of data into the sorted sheet. Now the purpose of the filter tab is to remove sets of shared matches from the full list that you see on column A, so that you end up with a reduced list of matches which is more focused on one aspect that you want to research. And so, for instance, say I wanted to take row 7 here and take all of that person's shared matches and delete them from this list. I'll first click on column A, row 7, and the hyperlink will take me then to the web page. Again, I'll click Control A and Control C to copy all of those matches, and then return to this sorted sheet. And now I'll click the filter tab. And it happens very quickly, but what will happen is that these shared matches are all removed from column A. So you can repeat that process over and over again, selecting a set of shared matches and deleting them from the sheet until you have the focused match list that you want to research. But I'd also like to show you another way of doing this. And first of all, what I will do then is to clear the sheet here. Clear sheet, yes, and then start over again. So what I will do is go back to the Ancestry web page and copy and paste the complete match list again. So here I'm on the complete match list from the Ancestry web page. Again, what I'll do is click Control A to select everything, Control C to copy, then go back to the workbook Now, rather than clicking tabulate this time, I will click filter. That again populates the A column on the sorted sheet. But if we now look at the lead sheet, the A column is also populated, and I'll demonstrate shortly the reason for that. But anyway, back to the sorted sheet, and what I'll do again is to go and collect the same set of shared matches. Control A, Control C to copy them, and then moving back to the workbook, collect filter to filter them out. And again, happened very quickly, but these matches, these shared matches were removed. And so this time what you see is that the matches that were removed appear in column D of the lead sheet. Now, if you were to repeat the process again, in other words, take another set of shared matches and remove them using the filter button on the sorted tab, then those matches removed for the second time will appear in column E of the lead sheet. And so if you choose to do the filtration method this way, you also have a record of what was removed and in what sequence. Well, that brings me to the end of my demonstration, and I hope that you have found one or more things in my workbook that you will find useful. And for my final slide, what I'd like to do is just provide to you the URL of the web page where you can download the workbook and download the instructions for the workbook. I've also got on this slide my email address if you wish to contact me directly. Thank you for watching this video.